All right, guys. Well, I am here with Evan Charm from Lean Data, and I'm excited. We got 3 weeks is the countdown until OpsStars. So I want to share with folks, like, if for people that aren't familiar with OpsStars, why they have to go. And by go, you can just stay where you are and attend. And guys, I mean, I'm not just saying this because I like you guys, but like, OpsStars has been the highlight of Dreamforce Week for me for years now. I mean, Dreamforce is this 180 million people show up in San Francisco where people should not be there. You should not have that many people physically in one place at one time, pandemic or not. But you guys have managed to carve out this marketing ops, this B2B marketing, let your geek flag fly group in Dreamforce within Dreamforce Week. That is, it's 2-3 days of just amazing content. So we can't go to Dreamforce. I'm not sad about missing Dreamforce. I'm sad about not being able to physically go to OpsStars, but we're going to do a virtual. And it looks like you guys have replicated a lot of the same content, a lot of the same kind of speakers. So maybe Evan, this is your baby from long ago. Like talk about like the evolution of OpsStars, like what it is and how it's going to be different and exciting this year.
Definitely, Matt, and I love your enthusiasm. And it's it's our 5th year doing OpsStars, and like you said, it's just started off just being like a small community of like-minded people who wanted to have a place to talk about ops for ops by ops. That was the original goal, right? Dreamforce is this huge thing. You talk about all sorts of different topics, and we brought together a small group of people at a restaurant called True Naman, which was right across the kitty corner away from Dreamforce. And we just want to bring people together, share best practices. And it kind of started with, we didn't know what was going to happen. We're just like, yeah, let's just rent out the restaurant and see what happens. And as a sad aside, I did see they were a COVID victim. So True Naman has actually permanently shut down. It is sad, but we'll always have those fond memories. And yeah, we brought people together, and they just really enjoyed it. They really like to be. I think the thing that we heard so much was about the content and having a platform to share. A lot of people in the ops professional, there's 2 things. One, sometimes they don't want to be pitched to. They just want to be around like-minded people and help them solve their problems. And secondly, the second thing we hear is it's a lot of people who are speaking that you don't normally hear from. They're not folks that are always on the speaking circuits. And so they're the folks who kind of are sometimes in the background getting things done and making things, solving interesting problems, and it's great forum for them to share their experiences. So our goal when you come to OpsStars is to learn about real hands-on things that you may not see at other places, and that you can take away to your business and help make your go-to-market teams more efficient. And I think there's 2 components of it. So the first component is your typical conference. So day 1 on October 20th is just speakers. So we want to highlight some of the best-in-class companies out there, your Zooms, your DocuSigns, your Zoom Infos, your Anaplans out there who are really being on the cutting edge. And then on day 2, what we've always heard from folks is they wanted to get even deeper, right? It's one thing to hear someone talk for 30 minutes to an hour, and part of the thing you talked about when you get in person is you get to sit down with someone and be like, hey, I do it this way. How do you do it, right? And so to create that virtually, we have this workshop format where we're going to do a couple hours, 1 to 3 hours in a small group. You want to be with like 20 or 40 people. And then there is going to be someone who's teaching the classroom style. One of our key highlights is going to be Matt Hines' session here. So you're going to hear from Matt Hines about how to do things around marketing. But then it's equally as important to be next to the guy you're sitting next to, right? Or in this case, virtually. So we want to keep them small, and so you get to talk to folks and learn how other folks are doing. And so we're hoping these are very interactive with breakout rooms, and we really hope people take advantage of that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. And so a couple things on that. One, this, I've been doing a lot of webinars, a lot of virtual conferences, and a lot of really good stuff out there. But I mean, some legit OpsStars, the content, the speakers. This isn't a bunch of thinly veiled sales pitches. You guys are really good about bringing in just operational marketing leaders sharing what they are doing, right? And when we're talking about, and when we're talking about ops in this capacity, we're talking about revenue operations, right? This is sales and marketing teams working together. And I still think that the term revenue ops is still growing in awareness, I think in maturity. But when you're marketing ops alone is complicated. Getting marketing and sales ops together is even more complicated. So finding the birds of a feather group of people that are trying to do that, I think, is really important. So you guys have done a great job with that. I'm thrilled to do a workshop this year. Just a quick plug for our workshop, because I mean, we've only got literally only 50 seats available. We did the workshop that I'm doing in 3 weeks. We did it last week and had 1,200 people sign up. We had about 500 people show up. It's 3 hours. There's an 80-page workbook that goes with it. We're doing a version of that at OpsStars, and we can literally only have 50 people show up. And I'm excited about that, right? Because I think, it's one thing if you've got a couple hundred people all asking questions. Like I had a co-presenter for that one last week. It was overwhelming, let's say, the questions and interactions trying to do. I want to be able to do those one-on-one conversations. Like each section of the workshop for us, like there's a little bit of instruction and introduction, and the majority of the time is you go to work. You take this concept and you've got a workbook and you work through these problems. You start to become familiar with the concept enough so it's no longer intimidating and you can do it in your business back with your team. So I'm excited about that format, to be able to go that deep and really roll up the sleeves on this. And I'm curious, maybe Charm, for you, like, I mean, this is obviously, it's a very big deal, sort of breaking through the clutter, marketing, getting people to an event. What are some of the lessons you've learned so far this year, like in a pandemic, as all of us have turned to digital for events? What of that learning has gone into sort of, getting OpsStars to the point of, sort of being this successful event in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think one thing we've learned is try to keep some of the aspects of what people love about OpsStars in the virtual environment, right? So of course it's the educational content that we're delivering, but it's also the networking. And so just because we're going to not have an in-person event this year doesn't mean that we can't offer some sort of networking. So you heard Evan talk about the workshops, right? They're supposed to be hands-on, intimate, breakout rooms so you can actually engage, meet the other people. That's why we limited it to 50 people each. But we're also going to make sure that, the OpsStars is such an elite community of B2B experts. So there's going to be networking within the virtual event, right? We want people to be able to ask questions and carry on the conversation and get resources. So we're making sure that that's a big component of the event, even though it's going virtual and there's no in-person. And then I think another thing that people love about OpsStars that we are making sure to incorporate this year in a different kind of way is the awards. A lot of times, people love to hear, especially for ops, because this is, like Evan said, this is a conference for ops people, right? It's an opportunity to let them shine. I mean, they are the ones that are aligning the teams, automating the flow of data, right? Helping implement go-to-market operational processes. And so they're so important, and we are recognizing them with awards. And so you'll be able to come and hear from, your peers as to why they won the highest ROI award or why they're the OpsStar of the Year award. And so the awards were really important to people. The networking was really important to people. And so we've incorporated that into a virtual format this year. And so we're definitely keeping those as well.
I love it. Well, so I'm excited. There's a lot of really cool content coming up. I'm putting a link to my workshop specifically in the chat, in the comments, so you can sign up for one of those 50 seats. If someone wants to attend the general workshop or the general session as well, where should they go?
They should go to OpsStars.com. They can also go to Lean Data and navigate that way. But our OpsStars.com website will have registration.
Awesome. So we'll put that link in the notes for this as well. And yeah, really excited, guys, to do this with you. Excited to do the workshop, and thanks very much for joining my LinkedIn Live hype video. I'm excited.
Very excited, and I look forward to having those lucky 50.
Yep, absolutely. All right, thanks.